Welcome to the second session of the conference series. We are together with Aysu Yarkın, Büşra, Bektaş, and Yiğit, Öztürk. They will be talking about people, culture, and career in the gaming industry. So welcome all. Thank you. Hello. Hello. If you are ready, you can start screen sharing. If you need anything, I'll be here. Thank you. So, hello everyone. I am Büşra Bektaş from Zindu HR. With the new developments in the gaming century, my role has been changed. I'm in the Zindu PR. I am head of the PR and communications within the company. So today, I'm here with my colleagues, Yiğit and Aysu, beside me. So welcome all once again, everyone watching this session online and offline. So the topic of our presentation is culture, people, and career. These are the three topics that we will be talking about. And we will also be talking about that the gaming sector is not solely based on one single field, and all of these concepts are integrated with each other and connected. So, and when we say gaming industry, we are only looking at the sector within our own perspectives. There are many types of companies and many types of fields in the gaming industry. But our common ground is the value of culture, humans, and experiences in our companies. So I would like to give the floor to Aysu, first of all. So let me start with the culture of the gaming studios. So let me screen share first of all. So, hello everyone, I am Aysu Yarkın. I am talent acquisition specialist in the Studio Billion. So I almost completed my first year, but in past I had many experiences in the HR field. But surely gaming industry is a different community, and it's a field that you approach human in a very different way. And I will be talking about Studio Billion and what we did in past. It was first founded in 2017 with the motto of creating good games, fun games. And we had it was founded by three different colleagues, and it was founded without getting an investment. And very successful achievements has been garnered by this company. And then in 2018, it had a good investment, and the face of the company was transformed. And new productions came right up. Now, there is a development team with many members, and there is a product team with 4 people and 4 people in the art department, and we have many members in the HR department. So from this point of view, I can say, in terms of the game studios, that we are working on the hyper-casual games, but looking at the application games, it's a sector that is prone to be changed because there are many mechanics in games and with many dynamics, and also sometimes it getting closer to the normal casual games. So this is what we need to place importance on while approaching this concept. And the human also, students and developer sides are also important, but the audience that consists of students, because you need to look at the game that you're developing in an introverted way. We need to approach with an inward-oriented way. So if you want your game to be more difficult with mechanisms, then you can go on with the casual games. Or you might be looking for games which is based on the camera angle. So you are adapting the field for you. This is the face of the gaming industry. Because what I know from my experience is that the gaming industry starts with the hyper casual dynamic, and then some people, some team members think that they are doing all the same all the time. And if you're doing something different, then it will satisfy you. And sometimes you might want to create similar games all the time, then you can go to the hyper casual games then. So then you need to ask the question, which field of the gaming industry, which type of the gaming is suitable for me? Thank you very much. So thank you very much for your insights on the gaming studios and the culture. So let's give the floor to Yiğit Öztürk. Welcome. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I am Yiğit Öztürk. I'm the HR manager in the Mild Mania. I am participating in this conference from Ankara. We are based in Ankara. Mild Mania was founded in 2015 in Teknokent. It was first creating casual games, but Mild Mania has 3 different games. Is one of them hyper casual, normal casual, and arcade. And we're working with 70 people. Now we can go on with the first one. Yes. All right. So for 10 years, I'm working as the HR manager for 10 years, but it's my first year in the gaming industry. So I'm new one actually in this field. But since my childhood, I've been always into the games. Because my brother had an MC-DOS game, and then I was introduced to the Warcraft. I was begging him to let me play. So at the background, with the development of technology and industry, games have been always in my life. And at some point, I thought being in this field would make me more happier. So to introduce myself, I think that I'll be happier and more efficient in this field. So I agree with you. Yeah. And lastly, in terms of career, yes, industry has gained momentum in Turkey. But in terms of career, I think there are lots of amazing opportunities. And in terms of labor force, everyone is talking about lack of competence in the field, but I think in Turkey there are good opportunities for especially for youth. And today, the main content that we have in our presentation is based on this fact. So I think it will be enjoyable. Thank you very much for your thoughts. And let me talk about Zindu. As Zindi, we are trying to touch upon every field of the sector, and we're trying to create a sweet competition with many stakeholders. Everyone is looking from the perspective of gaming creation, but we are looking from the perspective of human-centered way. In mobile game development, even in general, in the gaming industry, we are the first HR platform which enables us to make sure that each and every single stakeholder in our company is unique. And in our studios, companies can register in, then they can get a pool of candidates, and everyone can get enrolled in this pool and have the opportunity to find a job. And I think that every topic should be approached with different point of views. And I would like to once again thank Yiğit and Aysu the most remarkable point was founding Zindu HR. So thank you for this. So going back to our topic, I would like to start with we had a question, is it real or fantasy? In mid-core, hyper-casual, or normal occasion, everyone starts by dreaming. And this dream at some point becomes an aim, an objective. If you make that objective sustainable, if you put your effort, then you get the vision. And at this point, the most important thing is that you do not lose that sustainability and maintain it. So my question is, what do you think about this topic? Because from outer perspective, people think that the gaming industry is only about entertainment and fun. They think that it's a cozy, comfortable place of business, but we, as the people in it, know better. And I would like to ask this question to Yiğit. What do you think about this process, and what is real and what kind of things are waiting for us? So it was a good question, though. Well, it's not that funny that is seen from other side, but it depends on the expectation. In my interviews, in business interviews, some people have different expectations. They think that development, the software development is the only thing in the gaming industry. They do not think about the other sides. But I think it's deficient, especially in terms of mild mania. I can give some examples, but I think it's applicable for the other companies as well. You need a very good, very deep-rooted project management mentality, because you need to have a product at the end. In a simplistic way, yes, the project has its own development phase, and also art phases are also included, and game design, the concept, are the other important fields. And these three concepts should be connected to each other in harmony so that you can get the result. And having this harmony requires some tempo. And should it be scary? No, I think it's funny, very enjoyable. This is something that I want to say. Actually, sometimes busy with lots of stress, but I think it's funny, because when you look at the people in the sector, no matter what they do, the common ground they have is game. These people love gaming and they like to play. So, and this connection, it's hard to say. It's hard to call. It's difficult. So, by the way, as a person who is in the sector for 2 years, and we should not say that in order to be in the sector, you don't have to be, a good gamer. I'm in the sector for 2 years. I'm still a junior gamer. So let's hear Aysu's opinions. Yeah. As Büşra says, when I entered into the game, I had no connection, no relation with the gaming. And I started to think what I could do, because maybe my answer might be for both, for all the audience and the students as well, because in this conference there are some students also develop independent developments. From the developer perspective, of course, everything starts with the dream. I'm also a representative of Generation Z, and we are always result oriented. And while creating our goals, we are always talking about results. For example, I want to be an entrepreneur. I will be a good developer, but we need to make it more measurable and quantifiable so that we can be successful. So let's say that I want to create a gaming. So what the audience will be? Will it be students or children or all of them? So while defining my goal, we need to define other things in a realistic way. So if we take a look at the realistic sides of this process, we might think about the possibilities. In the gaming sector, while moving with the goal-oriented way, then you will see that your successful will come and will be achieved soon. And also meeting in the common ground is also important. Do we meet in the common ground with my partners and with the users? Because users' reactions are all changing all the time. And we need to be innovative and creative in this regard. And as Büşra said, I will also agree, and that you don't have to be a gamer to be in the gaming sector, because this sector is an entertainment sector, as Yiğit says. And the common ground is playing games. So you need to know how to get entertained. You need to know how to have fun. But in the business model, in the business way, you need to be disciplined very well. But while doing so, our difference is that we are doing this while having fun. Maybe it's not that severe funny, but our dynamic is based on fun, and we also consider being in discipline as well. Thank you. So I would like to say, yeah, we talked about real or fantasy. Of course, the sector is not as it is seen from our perspective, but no matter what kind of difficulty you face, there are always an effort. So we're also here with new developers, new independent developers. There are some developers presenting in games. So my point, my question, how do you think the sector has been established? Of course, it was affected by the pandemic, but it was established. And what do you think, how do you think the future will be? What are your recommendations? And at what point should one independent developer start from? And what are your suggestions for new entrepreneurs as well? Because in new enterprises, HR field is maintained by the founders. So what are your thoughts at this point? In the fields of interests, our perspective sometimes is different than the perspectives of others. So regardless of the type of the game, we always focus on human, no matter what. It can be in the game, hyper casual and normal casual, but our focus is humans. This is how we need to focus on. In the entrepreneurship phase, we need to focus on the interests of humans. For example, if I am establishing a company without defining my audience, it'll be risky or failure-based. So the other thing is that if my business model, if my product is suitable for the audience, so I need to research you need to make a research. Oh, by the way, we have a feedback from the online watchers. I think your voice is not coming very clearly with the microphone. Maybe you should keep away from the microphone. I hope everything is okay, but Okay, thank you very much. We will speak without microphone. So let me speak loudly. All right, so in this point, the important thing is that in the first phase, you need to define the audience. And then what this audience are playing, I need to closely monitor them. And then, so, okay, I define my audience and then I define my type of game. Then I need to make a good enterprise. So if my know-how or equipment are enough or not, this is the question I've been asked. And apart from that, then I need to create a team. So I'm talking about the core team. I need a developer. I need someone that can bring up my ideas. I need some artists and also my other colleagues if I'm doing models or animations. However, at this point, the entrepreneurs are not actually focusing on the HR field. Then the first game comes and then they are trying to get the investment and they're trying to address to the audience. Then sometimes you cannot get the investment that you desire, or sometimes some companies want to continue without an investment. So I need to ask the question whether my aim, what my aim is, meeting the expectations of the audience or finding an investment. So then if I grow, then I need to grow, expand my team as well. So then the HR field comes when we ask the question, what competence do I need? So when we have the core team, sustaining that team and considering the suitability of the team with the new ones is something that can create an issue. I need to think that the newcomers might be not suitable for the core team. So as HR managers, we're not finding one and expecting the result. While finding the one, we are trying to get that person who should be suitable for the vision of the company. After creating this dynamics, and then you get the flow of the process coming up. So I think it was certain. I also would like you to emphasize this as well. As a person who is in two different sectors at the same time, what your suggestions would be for those who recently entered or want to enter? Could you provide us some insights while integrating HR and the gaming studios? Should we speak without microphone? Yes, it's coming from a little bit far, but I could hear Miss Aysu and Büşra's voice. Okay, then I should speak loudly. All right. Yeah, so HR is a very sensitive field, especially in newly established companies. HR is naturally at the forefront. The reason of this is because new establishments are starting from friendships and there is no need for recruitment at highest level. And as Aysu said, we shouldn't consider HR as a recruitment process only. And from the HR perspective, the most focused area is that what kind of contributions and efficiency that a person can generate for me. But in parallel, we also look at the fact that that person might be happy with me or not. So fundamentally, in both the process of recruitment and in the post-recruitment process, when we look at the performance of the worker, the most costly area is the performance. Sorry, the time. So if you work with person that is not suitable for your time or tempo, then some issues might be coming up. Then you need to notice this as well. And that person, the worker, should also notice this. It can be both bad communication or good communication. Because, and at the end, you're trying to solve that issue by losing your time. So from the economic side, there's some missing opportunities as well, because you can focus more on a game or product management in the meantime. So personally, my suggestion would be, do not think that you don't need an outer eye looking at your process. There are good people working professionally in Turkey in this regard. And there is also the company Zindu. As you can see, the logo of Zindu. Yes, Zindu is here and apply. So in short, HR is not only about recruitment, payment, recruitment, training, many functions are in the play. But at the core of these concepts, in simple way, HR is about ensuring the happiness of both employer and employee. If you ask what is the level of healthiness of this process, I think you will definitely need someone helping from the outside. So yeah, that was a good advertisement of ours. Thank you very much for your valuable insights. I think you can hear me very well. I will just put the microphone down. All right. So here, as Yiğit said, time cost. Time is passing so fast for all of us, especially faster in the gaming industry. And on this happy casual game, as you know, we are working on deadlines and time is important for us. HR has no single role. Normally HR splits into different fields, but as HR, we are working on many functions. Yiğit is working on 3 different functions, for example. Aysu is working on happy casual, me too, in past, but now with Zindu, we are working with many corporate culture of 160 companies. People think that the HR is about recruitment, but it is not how it is. And Zindu is supporting companies, and Zindu HR is beside both employers and employee, helping them in optimization, time costs, and performances. So I would like to ask another question to you, Aysu. What is the talent acquisition managership? Is it about recruitment only? What are the criteria that you place importance in recruitment? And in the post-recruitment process, what are the things waiting for us? And what are the expectations of the employees? So, as you know, the HR field is a very expanded and wide one. And as a person from the HR department, I'm coming from psychological background.
It could be based on psychology, but what I focus on is psychology. Maybe Yiğit might be focusing more on finance, but your perspective as an HR rep is very important. You have to be able to take a look at it as a businessman or also a psychologist, because we are talking about, of course, profit costs, time costs, what is the effects. We have to focus on a lot of different dynamics in terms of HR. Of course, also we are trying to get a talent. Let's say if you get that talent, and is it staying here? What about skill building? Are they improving? Let's say we hire somebody, but is that firm going to be able to keep that person, if they are going to be able to meet the expectations? Also, management of the performance. Yes, we hired this person and they are working great, but let's say in some projects they are very good, on other projects they have lower numbers. What is the reason? We are also managing the performances, and we usually have feedback meetings every 2 months or 3 months, and we talk about what kind of a situation all the employees are, what can we do to improve that, how can we help grow people. So it is for both sides. It's not just what we expect from the candidates, we are also helping the firm and the community. And also I've talked about skill building, of course, but we also need improve everybody. So I have to help them train. We can, especially for coding, for example, or Unity, for example, there are a lot of revisions. Technology is constantly improving. And it's not just about technology, we are digitalizing it as a world. So I have to help our workers if they are requiring training or coursing. I have to have a budget for that. It is not just a person that is a talent. Let's say they are very beneficial to me, let's get it. This is not the case. We have to grow together. We have to move on and improve ourselves together. We have to keep working. Yes, you said it so clearly. In our industry, for the gaming industry, one of the most valuable areas for that is, yes, it is very difficult, of course, very busy, but it is constantly feeding each other. It's not just about taking. Companies are also giving back. As an entrepreneur, that's something that we have to take care about. We have to first remember that we are working with individual. We have to have a specific culture for that, and then we can plan the career steps. And also, I would like to hear it from you as well. As I've said, there are hiring in different areas for you. So for example, within your studio as well, there are different areas for you, different groups and departments. While you're hiring, what do you focus on? Especially for HR, for example, is it all about hiring for you, or after hiring, what are the expectations? What is the situation inside? How would Zinde also give you support about that? We can talk about that. And after that, I'm going to ask my final question after that. All right, now, of course, working in different genres is especially very enjoyable, first of all, but under the same subject, we are looking for different people. We are requiring different skill sets, obviously. And of course, there are some funny situations. If I'm going to share an example, for example, for a specific genre, we have a candidate that is not very talented for that, but for another genre, there is a big potential for that person, and the transition could be extremely fast. But of course, as I said, on the overall, the basis for the HR, the main purpose for HR is a bit more different from other functions. It is representing the employer. Well, the team are talking to me. They are actually thinking that they are talking towards the management of the company. So there is a different responsibility here. After somebody has started the work, my responsibility doesn't end there. It actually starts there, because as I've said, there is a feedback part of this job that should move on and work continuously. I think this is the case for all industries, all HR departments, and this is the main part that has been the trend for the 5 year, because without feedback, you can't talk about the commitment of the employees. And as also Aysu also said, the most important point is the feedback for us, and for the processes of the HR, it is triggered by these feedbacks. And if there is anywhere that needs improvement, for example, we can define it as different gates that we have to focus on. And the biggest resource we have is the feedback that the employees are giving. Of course, there is also something that is shaping the corporate culture. And before my final question, I would like to ask a small question, especially to you. In the hyper casual world, as you know, the circulation is extremely fast. Maybe indies are seeing it with awe because there is demand and there is supply, and so many people want to be in the gaming industry. So how we can have problems about employees? So the turnover rates in casual or indie side should be lower, but in hyper casual it's extreme. So how would you evaluate that? I mean, the experiences, the hardships that you have felt, what are those? Maybe some examples, because while we are uh, starting an entrepreneurship, maybe the commitment and loyalty of the employees are going to be the issue, because the turnover in hyper casual, we have to minimize it. So we have to work on that. You might be surprised about the rate of turnover in hyper casual gaming. And from this point of view, are we just focusing on local within Turkey, or as you know, currently in some areas, there are a lot of demand for Turkish jobs in specific areas? What kind of a system do you use? I mean, if we are going to compare casual and hyper casual, of course, yes, casual's turnover rate is very low. And the reason for that is, especially, the timeline is much longer compared to hyper casual, and metrics are much clearer. I mean, to be honest, an action that you take in the casual industry, you can much more quickly see the changes in your data. But for hyper casual currently, as far as I realize, I think there are specific rules and formulas do not exist in the world currently for hyper casual gaming. So it's like, it's the magic of the thing, because it is a bit more a trial and error based system, and that is of course only my idea and my point of view. And the case is that of course it is inevitable to have very high turnover. And I think the breaking point for that, especially for hyper casual industry, you have to be game focused. Of course, hyper casual is definitely focused on market trends and extremely morphing and changing. But at the basis of it all, I think we should definitely focus on gaming. In the games that we see that are successful in the hyper casual, of course, we see that having the point of view of the gaming, the focusing on the game is important. Also, another question about the international talent. What we are experiencing is, for my friends in other countries working in HR, of course, there is a problem in Turkey, but it exists outside of Turkey as well, especially in the gaming industry. I don't know what is the situation with you guys, but currently, especially finding a senior development developer is extremely hard. It is the case worldwide. So, of course, different positions also have the same issue. So, what I would say is that this situation, of course, will uh, start new different methods for this industry. Of course, in Turkey, my priority is people who have developed and grew up in Turkey would be much easier to integrate. Of course, we have been working remotely for a long time, and we are starting to also transition into the office. But that's the big advantage. But from outside of Turkey, why wouldn't I have a teammate that could also show a great performance? Because there's a project that requires specific tasks. So, and slowly what we realize is there are different developments that are wanted or unwanted. So different countries uh, workforce have to be contacted for some positions. But of course, this is only on the beginning stages. This is very exciting, but at least for me, what kind of an impact will this have? What kind of an efficiency can we have in the projects? This is a very exciting to experience that. Yes, we are expecting the results as well. We have different processes for that as well. This was a great discussion. Hopefully, it will be beneficial for all of our viewers. We try to take a look at different perspectives. Now, I would like to, of course, connect it to Zindo HR because, of course, the combining places for us this and Aysu and Yiğit maybe only knew each other as co-workers, but because they are included in Zindo HR, now we have this session, and with our studios, we are going to have many different projects. And in terms of indie, we have mostly about entrepreneurs in the scene, but I would also like to try all your games and want to see what you are doing. And before that, maybe we can also speak about your collaboration with us, and I can ask what kind of an improvement or efficiency you gain from us. And maybe if we have time, maybe we can get a couple of questions. If Mr. Sardar, we have about 4 minutes, and we don't have any questions in the Q&A area, but you can get live questions. I think we are gonna have to have a chosen one here. Right here, I would also like to thank you all for this panel. This was very enjoyable. Of course, we are very new with Zindu. We have recently met, but it has been very enjoyable, our collaboration. So our communication is very enjoyable. And of course, we are very quickly communicating for business. And in terms of sport, when we require sport, knowing that you are with us is, of course, ensuring us. What I can say is in the gaming industry, there is a very unique competition. We are constantly going over all these uh, candidates, and I think Zindo has a great initiative for keeping that properly. So I would also like to thank you for that initiative because you are going to fix a problem in the industry. As HR reps, we, of course, there are different perspectives we have to take, and having a candidate that is very experienced, for example, if they were to go to Büşra, for example, then Büşra can come to me and we can communicate and we can collaborate. So we will be improving the industry. We can be empowering the industry by our collaboration. Yes, thank you very much for joining us in terms of my team as well. And if you are all looking for jobs, you can come to the Zindo HR, and for the employer side, you can contact me and my team. If there are any questions, very quickly, maybe if everybody is wondering a specific question, there is a very critical point coming for the question. Mr. Güven, go ahead. Because of technical issues, the question is not able to be translated. Yes, in terms of Zindo, right? For all of us, yes. I mean, I think this is very valuable, definitely, because everybody is creating their own brand value, then they combine it with the company that they are working for. So the brand value, I think for Zindo HR, we definitely care to find candidates that are in line with the company culture and what they want to do. Are they trying to focus on casual, hyper casual? What are their goals? Of course, in development while creating GitHub links, if it's hyper casual, they have to know C# and Unity. And if it's just junior, they will try to create a prototype. And in terms, are they going to be focusing on C# or any other coding languages? What are they focusing? These are very important points. While we have also two different studios here, we can ask what they are focusing on for developing and improving their employers as well. I think while I'm speaking with the candidates, of course, I can. It is important for me to be able to consult them as well. And the first point of focus is their portfolios, their drawings or coding. And if I'm going to look at this art, for example, first thing that I check is if they had a portfolio. If they don't have it, for example, first I take a look at the candidates with portfolios. And after that, I am taking a look at it from the perspective of HR, and then I send it to their art teams. And if they also think that is good, then we contact that for the arts side. For the development side, again, using the GitHub is very important. Which assets are have been used, how it's been organized. These are very important to take a look at in detail, because sometimes candidates show that they load all the projects, but if it's very well put together, then I can take a different point of view, especially for design side. For example, in the industry, there is a problem like that. As much as I explain the ideas, then other friends from the industry could feed from that. So it could be a problem. So in that sense, I would try to find a link for that, for example, specific game. Or I think it would be very beneficial to have a writing on the little explainer or article for that game, for example. I don't want to market themselves, but the first thing that we are going to see is the portfolio. Then for HR meetups, of course, if we have a proper meeting, and then we will be continuing on with that candidate. Thank you very much. It is very clear. I think the most critical point is the portfolio, because it speeds up the process. And for the candidates, I think they can see opportunities that they didn't even think about, For example, if I'm going to give an example, a candidate for a development job, for example, talking about the design pattern, for example, we would take attention of our lead developer, and then we will be able to see that having portfolios, coding, and design examples in CVs is extremely important, a lot more important, maybe 100 times more important than you would think. Definitely. Thank you very much for your valuable question, Mr. Serdar. We are back to you. Yes, Büşra, Aysu Yiğit, thank you very much for your participation and for the information that you have provided. See you later. Thank you very much. We would thank you. See you later.